here for you. Fox 4 News starts now.
Hello, I'm Dan Godwin with a look at what's making news in North Texas. We start with a pretty major blast of winter weather. It won't be arriving today, but starting tomorrow, it will be feeling a lot colder. And there is some precipitation in the picture as well. Meteorologist Kylie Capps is here with our first forecast.
Dan, we have a couple different cold fronts to talk about over the next few days. The first, like you said, arrives tonight. This isn't the significant blast of that Arctic air. That looks to arrive Saturday, late in the day through the evening hours, and then we are entrenched in the cold air by Sunday. We'll talk more about that with our full forecast, but first we got to take a look at our Thursday. This morning we fell into the upper 30s overnight thanks to all that cloud cover that stayed put and the return of southwest winds. We're going to be able to climb to about 70 degrees this afternoon under abundant sunshine. Now, later tonight, clouds will build in, and out ahead of a cold front, a few gusty storms will be possible, especially for areas east of I-35. But that's only going to be through about midnight, through about 3 o'clock in the morning. So a very short window of time. If those storms can get going, they're going to push off quickly into East Texas, and then the strong northwest winds look to arrive. Tomorrow is a dry day, and so is Saturday. Then that Arctic front arrives, and then we have to talk about the potential for that wintry mix. I'll have your full forecast in just a few.
All right, thanks, Kylie. The operator of the state's power grid says it's not expecting any major problems providing enough electricity when the Arctic blast hits Texas. ERCOT says the grid should be able to handle the increased demand. We spoke with a research scientist at UT Austin with expertise in power grids. Dr. Joshua Rhodes was able to offer us some reassurance. He says conditions look favorable for solar and wind power generation early next week. Energy storage has also improved, meaning reserves should hold out.
And if you just look at the buffer between, we've got thousands of megawatts of expected capacity that we, to be on the system at that time, that we won't actually need at that time, even though we are going to peak. So I'm feeling pretty good about it.
When we talk about winter weather in Texas, memories linger of the 2021 freeze that crippled the grid and claimed more than 240 lives. That storm brought widespread freezing rain and snow, and those extremely challenging conditions are not in the forecast this time around. TxDOT is preparing highways and interstates for winter weather with a brine solution which helps keep ice from sticking to roads. Fort Worth crews started the pre-treating yesterday. The process begins tomorrow in Dallas. TxDOT says the brine solution can last for as long as a week. As it usually does, the agency is putting a priority on treating bridges and overpasses first, which are especially prone to freezing over.
Ice is very heavy, very dense, and once it bonds, it becomes difficult to remove, and that's what we're trying to prevent with our pre-treatment.
TxDOT expects to be finished by Saturday, well ahead of any potential winter precipitation. North Texans are stocking up for the incoming weather. Colleyville residents were picking up firewood and gasoline to keep their homes warm if the power goes out and they need a generator. One resident told us he wants to get ahead of the weather before it gets bad again.
We've had some bad experiences the last couple of winters where we've had precipitation and cold temperatures. I just want to make sure we don't run into it again.
You can track winter weather in real time with the Fox 4 Weather app. The WAP has live radar and information on watches and warnings. Plus, you can watch live newscasts. The WAP is free to download. Just scan the QR code there on your screen. Dallas police made one arrest in connection with the deadly shooting of a 6-year-old girl in Old East Dallas. 18-year-old Demira Souls is charged with tampering with evidence. Police say they were called out to a townhome on Fitzhugh Avenue yesterday where they found the 6-year-old and other children with an unsecured firearm. The girl died later at a hospital. Her aunt told Fox 4 off camera the child's mother wasn't at home at the time of the shooting. She says the mother was at a funeral home planning services for her 14-year-old son who was killed 2 weeks ago in a shooting near Victory Park. Crews are testing gas lines in downtown Fort Worth, hoping to pinpoint exactly what caused Monday's explosion at a historic hotel. The National Transportation Safety Board is monitoring as Atmos Energy continues testing around the Sandman Signature Hotel. 21 people were hurt in the blast. Investigators believe a gas leak caused it, but they have not made a final determination. Now, Saturday's Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo Parade was set to pass by the hotel. The route has now been changed to avoid that area.
The parade will go down Main Street just like it does every year, and when it gets down to 9th Street, I believe, rather than making a right turn and coming back up Houston Street, it's going to take a left turn and come up Commerce Street.
The route for Monday's MLK Day parade in downtown Fort Worth is also expected to be changed. Emergency personnel will be on hand for both parades to keep spectators away from the restricted areas where the investigation is still underway. Coming up on Fox 4 News, a new recreation center opening in Collin County. It is deluxe. We'll give you a look at what's inside.
Sunshine and highs near 70 degrees today before things rapidly change heading into the weekend. Our first of two fronts arrives tonight with another Arctic blast on tap through the back half of the weekend. I'll have your full forecast in just a bit. All right, we're still a few days out from that Arctic blast that we've been talking about over the last several days, and we're starting to get a little bit of a better handle on timing and what type of wintry weather we could see as that Arctic blast entrenches North Texas in that very cold air by Sunday and a disturbance moves overhead. We're going to continue to nail this down as we head into the weekend, and then we'll have a better idea on timing and who could see what. Now, for our Thursday, things are quiet. Yeah, we saw some early morning fog that continued to burn off by about 10 o'clock this morning. And the rest of the day will feature abundant sunshine as highs are back up to about 70 degrees this afternoon. So a whole lot of sunshine, maybe a tad bit cooler to the north and east. The rest of us upper 60s and low 70s, feeling more like spring than anything. You'll also notice a little bit of a southwest breeze throughout the day today. That's going to help our high temperatures soar into the upper 60s and low 70s. So again, things stay quiet on our short range, high resolution model through the rest of the day today and through the majority of the nighttime hours. Now, by about midnight, a cold front will be approaching, and as that front approaches, out ahead of it, we could see a few showers and some gusty storms develop. But again, as those mainly develop east of I-35, they're going to track quickly to the east, so that window that we could see a couple of gusty storms, again coverage fairly low, is only between about midnight and 3 o'clock in the morning, and then things are completely quiet through the rest of the day on Friday. Strong northwest winds will take over, though, following in the wake of that front, and temperatures will be hovering near freezing by tomorrow morning. Like I said, a couple of gusty storms will be possible, especially for areas east of I-35 and across far east Texas. That's where that severe weather threat is a little bit higher. But I do think in the short window of time that we do have to be able to see a couple of those gusty storms, they're going to exit quickly out of our viewing area and head east. Now we got to talk about that Arctic front. So the first of two fronts, it does look to arrive tonight. This isn't the Arctic blast that we've been talking about. That looks to invade by Saturday night, which means we're going to stay entrenched in the Arctic air all day on Sunday as temperatures stay in the 20s. That's the certain part about this forecast as we head into the weekend. Now, there's still a little bit of a question mark as far as that wintry mix is concerned and that potential is concerned. So basically, as we sit in the 20s all day on Sunday, there's going to be a disturbance that crosses overhead. Couple that with some moisture, and we could see that wintry mix develop, especially late in the day on Sunday through the nighttime hours. It still looks like the more favorable area for the potential for that winter weather will be areas to the east. Now, by Sunday night, though, if we get enough moisture, if we get enough of that activity to be able to fall with temperatures in the 20s, roads could become slick quickly, especially Sunday night into early Monday morning. Lows Monday morning, bitter cold, temperatures ranging ranging from about 5 to 15 degrees with wind chills likely below zero. So there's that Arctic front. This is the coldest air that we've seen so far this season. And we've broken down that winter weather potential a little bit further over the last several hours. Again, with the temperature profile expected to be below freezing for our northern areas through the entire atmosphere, that's where the potential for snow will exist. Now, the more central part of North Texas could be looking at the potential for an ice, sleet, snow mix, and it does look like will be a little bit warmer to the south and southeast, where mainly a cold rain is expected. This forecast is still expected to be fine-tuned over the next several days, so stay updated with us. Either way, make sure you are monitoring the 4 Ps. Protect your pipes and plants, pets and people, especially with the coldest air that we expect to see heading into MLK Day and lingering with a couple more days below freezing through early next week.
All right, thanks very much, Kylie. There is a new place opening up in Collin County that's going to be a very popular destination for everyone, young, old, and in between. The Stephen G. Terrell Recreation Center opens to the public at the end of this month. But this Saturday, people can get a sneak peek inside during an open house from noon to 6 p.m. This very versatile new facility will offer cutting-edge fitness equipment, classrooms for educational programs, and a multi-story indoor playground.
We'll be hosting summer camp for the kiddos. We'll have art and craft. We have a 3D printer that will be doing some really cool art classes. We also have a demonstration classroom. So we'll be doing cooking classes and jewelry making classes, and as well as pickleball leagues and different things for all ages and abilities.
Pretty awesome. It's a total of 149,000 square feet. The price was $54 million. The facility is named after former Allen Mayor Stephen G. Terrell, who served the city for more than 20 years. The Dallas Independent School District has chosen a new police chief. Albert Martinez comes to the DISD with more than 3 decades of law enforcement experience. Martinez is currently the executive assistant chief of police with Dallas PD. He also worked as director of security for the Catholic Diocese of Dallas. Dallas ISD's current chief, John Lawton, announced his retirement last fall. Martinez will assume his new position next month. And that's a look at what's making news in North Texas. Of course, for news anytime, go to fox4news.com.